You're a mess child.
I gotta put on my lipstick too, Mom.
Do you want some chapstick?
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, okay. I just like my lips shiny. I like to be shiny. You don't, but I like to be shiny. Being shiny.
I'm so shiny.
Yeah, shiny, right? Hi guys, and welcome back to our TikTok. Jess and Shay here.
Hi.
Might be annoying for me to say losing her first, then giving her up for adoption, but I always want to be honest, and that's how it went down. So, with that said, this be our story. I tried to set this up like a Q&A style, because if we sat and explained our entire story without keeping it just short and simple questions answered, we're so ADHD, you guys would be like, stop talking. How old is Shaylin when I lost her, and why did I give her up for adoption or lose her first and then give her up for adoption? I had Shaylin with her dad when I was 17 years old, and he ended up getting a 13-year-old girl pregnant while I was pregnant. I had dropped out of high school against my parents' wishes, of course. I was one of them kids. I left school before getting pregnant with this girl. I was bad and ran away from home. Got pregnant with her dad, and then he went to prison, and I was a waitress making $2.15 an hour. That's how much waitresses made back in the day, and I was living off of tips, and tips were not that much. So this little girl had to go to her babysitter 6 days a week, and then I got into doing drugs. I ended up losing her to CPS. I started doing everything that I needed to get her back. I just felt like I couldn't give her the life that she deserved, and she deserved so much better than me. On the only day that I had her on Sundays, I had to call her babysitter to find out her routine because I didn't know it anymore, because I just worked all the time. And that's how she ended up originally being lost, and then I signed over my rights with the intent of her being given up for adoption.
I went to like a very loving family. They were amazing. They did their best with me, even though I was a very complicated kid.
Well, I mean, you're going through a lot too.
I know.
This question is, did you always know you were adopted? And if you didn't, what age did you find out?
I was young when I found out. I don't remember exactly what age I was. I feel like it was around 5, 6, but I don't really quite remember all that well. I know that I was sat down and had a talk about it, and they did a gotcha day. A gotcha day is a day that you celebrate the day that you adopted your child, and that is what they did for all of us. I remember wanting to know more, wanting to know the story, but they couldn't tell me much because it was a closed adoption. I remember them telling me that my mom did drugs, and in my mind I just couldn't wrap my head around that, so I wouldn't believe it. I would say that they were lying, and I know that was wrong. Now I was wrong that they were telling me
That's literally
the
one of the
truth.
first things that she told me when we found each other. I went to go get her so she could spend a week with me and so we could get to know each other. And one of the very first things she said to me was, I knew they were lying. I knew that you wanted me. I knew that you weren't on drugs. And I was like, oh, no. I messed up. I messed up bad. And I told her everything. Like, I don't believe in lying. I told her, like, honey, it's embarrassing, but I tried to just make the best I could out of my life so that when you did find me, it wasn't all in vain. So I could show you that I changed and like I grew in life and I wasn't stuck in the same place that I was. And it's important to be accountable.
I remember when I was looking for her, I was 18. My adopted parents told me her name. They told me her name was Jessica, and I went looking. I just couldn't figure it out.
Did we ever look for each other or try to find each other? And if we did, for how long?
I was 18 when I was told. I think I had just turned 18, and I was looking for maybe about 3 months. I was told her name, and I was told her age, and I think I was told like she lived in Lampasas when that wasn't true. But I was looking for her.
That's my hometown.
I was looking for her everywhere. I looked on the internet, like anything, and I wanted to give up so bad. And then I remember my man, he was just so like willing to help. He like was taking me everywhere, like everything. He was like, just don't give up. I promise you it's not worth it. You can find it, like just don't give up.
Find it, you can find
You
her.
can find her. I wanted to shut down, but I kept looking, and finally I changed my last name on my profile.
No, now you're getting into how we found each other.
Okay, sorry.
I had found out what her adoptive name was, and I'm not going to get into all that. Well, what I heard. So I thought it was Olivia Ziegland. I locked in that name. I wrote it down. I never forgot it. And then when she was about probably like 11, I was like, okay, maybe she's going to have Facebook now. So I started looking for her on Facebook, but I started looking for the wrong last name. And then I'm sure I was spelling it wrong because Ziegland, I don't know, that's a different name that I've never heard of. So I look for Shaylin everywhere. I mean, I would go to the grocery store and like stock mamas. And if I saw a little kid that looked like her, that was around her age or anything like that, I would just follow them around because I completely regretted giving her away. Like, oh, I had good intentions in the moment. I instantly like couldn't live with myself.
Next question is, how did we find each other?
So, how do we find each other, Shaylin?
I had changed my last name on a profile. Sorry. And that I was given. I ended up getting a message later on my Instagram, and it was from a half sibling, one that my father had with another woman. She texted me and she asked me all these questions and was like, well, you might be my half sister. And so she texted her grandmother, and her grandmother texted my mom. And my mom followed me on Instagram. Oh my god, I'm making emotional. My mother followed me on Instagram and texted me, and I didn't read it till like the next day because I didn't see it. I fell asleep. She texted me and was like all this like sweet stuff. I don't know, like at that moment I was excited, but I was also really scared because I was like, you know, like this is new to me. I don't know what to do. So agreed to going with her for, I think it was a week?
Yeah, for a week. One week. You didn't want to be away from your honey that long.
I was scared and nervous. I was like, what if this is just not real? Like, what if this isn't real and I'm just gonna be kidnapped or something? I was like, what if this is what it is? And I was getting so scared. I just decided I had to take the leap of faith and go with her, because maybe if there is a slight chance that I'm not being kidnapped, this could be my mom.
I mean, I did kind of kidnap you. I moved her in shortly after that with her honey. So that's how she found me, was at work. I had prayed to find Shaylin, I mean, for her whole life. She was literally my longest prayer that I've ever had. I was at work and I was literally talking to God. I ended that word. Ding. One of her sister's grandma, who had known me, and she knew me when I had Shaylin, and she was always just amazing and very kind to me, and I love her so dearly. And she reached out to me and was like, did you know that Shaylin's looking for you? And I just was like, like, what? And I just started crying, and I was like, thank you, Lord, thank you, I hear you. Like, so that is how I found her. Thank the Lord. She's so loving and so forgiving, and when she let me come get her for a week, I don't think that that is a lot of people's stories. They have a lot of anger and resentment, which is totally, they have the right to have that. They have the right to feel that. Like, if she would have spat in my face and been like, how dare you, I hate you, I would have had to just take it and just not say anything, because she had a right to feel whatever way she felt. What happened when we first met each other? What feelings were you feeling?
Excited when I heard that, when she told me she was on her way. I was excited. I was just ready to go. I had my bags packed, everything. I was ready to go. But at the same time, I was scared, and I didn't know how I was gonna like handle it. Like, and I think like 30-40 minutes later, I hear a knock on the
No, you were texting me. You were like, text me when you're 2 minutes away. And I was like, I'm right here. So you were standing outside waiting whenever I pulled up.
Outside waiting, and I opened the door, and immediate tears came out of both of our faces, because, I mean, so standing right in front of me was my mom.
I was scared if I can even. I was like, can I hug you? Like, is it okay?
Like, can I hug you?
And she was like, yeah, because I didn't know what I was allowed to do.
It's a connection with her. Like, the instant I saw her, I knew that. I had a strong feeling. Like, I had this gut feeling, and I knew in my heart she was my mom, because not only did she look like me, but she acted like me.
Yeah, we have so much like. It's so crazy how you cannot raise a kid at all or be around them, and your blood just runs through and through. Like, this girl is so clumsy and so forgetful. And I mean, I've never met someone else who runs into the walls and trips over their own feet the way that I do. But here she is, my daughter, Shaylin Emery. And just so you guys know too, like, I call her Shaylin because she asked me to and she allowed me to. I told her from the very first moment we found each other that like I will call you red or blue if you want me to. I don't care what you want me to call you. I just want you to be comfortable. And she was like, no, Shaylin feels very natural from you. She was like, I want you and my siblings, my birth siblings and like that family to call me Shaylin. She was like, because I've always loved the name Shaylin. Still goes by Olivia. Everyone knows her as Olivia that she was raised with. And
Only
so
slightly confusing sometimes.
everyone calls her Olivia. Her honey calls her Olivia. Everyone, it's just not a thing for us. But I just wanted to say, because I never would want anyone to think that like, I was like, I named you Shayla and you were being called Shaylin. I would never do that. I was so ADHD, it's not even funny.
Okay.
I feel like things were just natural when we found each other, or did it take a minute for us to like progress into being mother and daughter?
It felt natural that you were my mom. It felt natural to call you mom. It felt, everything like felt natural, but then at the same time,
We went through it. Don't lie. We went through it. We had some knockout, drag out fights.
Like not
I had
like,
moments of being like, little girl, I brought you
not
into this world and
like-
I'll take you
not
out.
like fist fight.
We're beating people up in this house. We have had our disagreements, but you know, she was raised with different parents and I respect them so much. Like I wrote her adoptive mom the long message when I first found Shaylin, telling her like how grateful I was that she raised her and thank you, and I'm just so grateful to even be in her life. And I was like, please know that you were always her mama. Like you were there for every little thing. Like all I did was push that little girl out and get her through the first year of her life. But she's been there for all the hard stuff, all the breakups and the boyfriends and the friends being mean and siblings fighting and, you know, teaching her about life and all that. Everyone parents different. Like I need to say all that to get into the next part of what I'm gonna say. I'm a very strict mama. I'm a very hard mama. She knows I'm her mama, so it wasn't just like, you're not my mom. I mean, she did like tell me, don't forget that you gave me away. We've been through those moments. We had to get through it, okay? You guys, we had to rip off the Band-Aid. She had to say it a couple of times. I'm sorry, and I can't do anything about the past, baby girl. All I can do is move forward and be the best mom I can be right now. That's all I can do. I can't change it. Knowing what I know now and knowing about the resources that are available now in the world, absolutely. I'd go back in a second if I could. In the moment, I did what I thought was the best thing for the child. And, you know, anyways, he has raised her, you know, and made her into the young lady that she is today. With all that said, I parent the way that I parent. I'm very strict and harsh, and
Well, you were. You're not.
well,
like,
I am still
you
strict.
can be strict, but you're not harsh.
Yeah, if you live in my, well, yes. Okay, so the harshness I think was from the drinking, right? Because I'm not a harsh
You're
mama.
not a harsh person.
And I'm not a harsh person,
No,
but drunk
you are
Jessica is.
strict.
But I am very strict. What?
Now I know her a little bit too well.
Did you guys remember that we are people with feelings? I'm mainly saying that about myself right now because Shaylin doesn't have anything to be embarrassed about. Didn't do anything wrong in this whole situation.
I was just
So
a girl.
she was just a girl. She was like a little baby deer. What was I gonna say? You made me lose the train of thought. Child. You know, now that we've gone through all of our stuff, like, she knows that I love her. She can't get rid of me if she wants to.
I know, she's never gonna die.
I
She's
know
gonna
where
stalk
she
me the
lives.
entire time.
Yeah. For the ones who have been interested in our story and wanted to know, here you go. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if we're kind of all over the place. We tried to do a Q&A, but I know that we still get sidetracked because that is us. If there's any other questions that you guys have or would like to know, we hope you have a good night. Until next time. If there's any other videos that you'd like, please ask. Bye.
Bye.